All Last Night, Lascelles Abercrombie. Read for LibriVox.org by Roseanne Schmidt. All last night I had quiet, in a fragrant dream and warm. She became my Sabbath, and round my neck her arm. I knew the warmth in my dreaming, the fragrance, I suppose, was her hair about me, or else she wore a rose. Her hair I think for likest woodroof 'twas when spring, loitering down the wet woodways, treads it sauntering. No light, nor any speaking, fragrant only and warm, enough to know my lodging, the white Sabbath of her arm. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Apostasy by Thomas Traherne. Read for LibriVox.org by Algie Pug. The Apostasy. One star is better far than many precious stones. One sun, which is by its own lustre seen, is worth 10,000 golden thrones. A juicy herb or spire of grass, in useful virtue, native green, an emerald doth surpass, hath in't more value, though less seen. No wars, nor mortal jars, nor bloody feuds, nor coin, nor griefs which those occasions saw I then, nor wicked thieves which this purloin. I had not thoughts that were impure, esteeming both women and men God's work, I was secure, and reckoned peace my choicest gem. As Eve I did believe myself in Eden set, affecting neither gold nor ermined crowns, nor aught else that I need forget. No mud did foul my limpid streams, nor mist eclipsed my sun with frowns. Set off with heavenly beams, my joys were meadows, fields, and towns. Those things which cherubims did not at first behold among God's works, which Adam did not see, as robes and stones enchased in gold, rich cabinets, and such like fine inventions, could not ravish me. I thought not bowls of wine needful for my felicity. All bliss consists in this, to do as Adam did, and not to know those superficial joys which were from him in Eden hid, those little new invented things, fine lace and silks, such childish toys as ribbons are and rings, or worldly pelf that us destroys. For God, both great and good, the seeds of melancholy created not, but only foolish men, grown mad with customary folly, which doth increase their wants, so dote as when they elder grow they then such baubles chiefly note, more fools at 20 years than 10. But I know not why, did learn among them too, at length, and when I once with blemished eyes began their pence and toys to view, drowned in their customs, I became a stranger to the shining skies, lost as a dying flame, and hobby horses brought to prize. The sun and moon forgone as if unmade, appear no more to me. To God and heaven dead I was, as though they never were. Upon some useless gaudy book, what then I knew of God was fled, the child being taught to look, his soul was quickly murdered. O fine, O most divine, O brave, they cried, and showed some tinsel thing whose glittering did amaze, and to their cries its beauty owed. Thus I on riches, by degrees, of a new stamp did learn to gaze, while all the world for these I lost, my joy turned to a blaze. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Break of Day in the Trenches by Isaac Rosenberg. Read for LibriVox.org by Martin Geeson in Hazelmere, Surrey. The darkness crumbles away. It is the same old druid time as ever. Only a live thing leaps my hand, a queer sardonic rat, as I pull the parapet's poppy to stick behind my ear. Droll rat, they would shoot you if they knew your cosmopolitan sympathies, and God knows what antipathies. Now you have touched this English hand, you will do the same to a German. Soon, no doubt, if it be your pleasure to cross the sleeping green between. It seems you inwardly grin as you pass strong eyes, fine limbs, haughty athletes, less chanced than you for life, bonds to the whims of murder, sprawled in the bowels of the earth, the torn fields of France. What do you see in our eyes at the shrieking iron and flame hurled through still heavens? What quaver, what heart aghast? Poppies, whose roots are in man's veins, drop, and are ever dropping. But mine in my ear is safe, just a little white with the dust. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
City Trees by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Read for LibriVox.org by Kathy White. The trees along this city street, save for the traffic and the trains, would make a sound as thin and sweet as trees in country lanes. And people standing in their shade out of a shower undoubtedly would hear such music as is made upon a country tree. O little leaves that are so dumb against the shrieking city air, I watch you when the wind has come. I know what sound is there. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Conscious by Wilfred Owen. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. His fingers wake and flutter up the bed. His eyes come open with a pull of will, helped by the yellow mayflowers by his head. A blind cord drawls across the window-sill. How smooth the floor of the ward is! What a rug! And who's that talking somewhat out of sight? Why are they laughing? What's inside that jug? Nurse! Doctor! Yes, all right, all right. But sudden dusk bewilders all the air. There seems no time to want a drink of water. Nurse looks so far away, and everywhere music and roses burnt through crimson slaughter. Cold, cold, he's cold, and yet so hot. And there's no light to see the voices by, no time to dream and ask he knows not what. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Discipline by D.H. Lawrence. Read for LibriVox.org by A. Sieves. It is stormy, and raindrops cling like silver bees to the pane. The thin sycamore in the playground are swinging with flattened leaves. The heads of the boys move dimly through a yellow gloom that stains the class. Over them all the net of my discipline weaves. It is no good, dear, gentleness and forbearance. I endured too long. I have pushed my hands in the dark soil under the flower of my soul, and the gentle leaves, and have felt where the roots are strong, fixed in the darkness, grappling for the deep soil's little control. And there is the dark, my darling, where the roots are entangled and fight each one for its hold on the oblivious darkness. I know that there, in the night, where we first have been, before we rise on the light, we are not brothers, my darling, we fight and we do not spare. And in the original dark, the roots cannot keep, cannot know any communion whatever, but they bind themselves, and drawing the darkness together, crush from it a twilight, a slow,
burning that breaks at last into leaves and a flower's bright spark. I came to the boys with love, my dear, but they turned on me. I came with gentleness, with my heart twixt my hands like a bull, like a loving cup, like a grail, but they spilt it triumphantly, and tried to break the vessel and to violate my soul. But what have I to do with the boys, deep down in my soul, my love? I throw from out of the darkness myself like a flower into sight. Like a flower from out of the night time I lift my face, and those who will may warm their hands at me. Comfort this night. But whoever would pluck apart my flowering shall burn their hands. So flowers are tender folk, and roots can only hide. Yet my flowerings of love are a fire, and the scarlet brands of my love are roses to look at, but flames to chide. But comfort me, my love. Now the fires are low. Now I am broken to earth, like a winter destroyed. And all myself but a knowledge of roots in the dark that throw a net on the undersoil which lies passive beneath their thrall. But comfort me, for henceforth my love is yours alone. To you alone will I offer the bowl. To you will I give my essence only. But love me, and I will atone to you for my general loving, atone as long as I live. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Earth's Answer by William Blake. Read for LibriVox.org by Ian Carr. Earth raised up her head from the darkness dread and dear. Her light fled, stony dread, and her locks covered with grey despair. Prisoned on watery shore, starry jealousy does keep my den, cold and hoar. Weeping o'er, I hear the father of the ancient men. Selfish father of men, cruel, jealous, selfish fear, can delight, chained in night, the virgins of youth and morning bear. Does spring hide its joy when buds and blossoms grow? Does the sower sow by night, or the plowman in darkness plow? Break this heavy chain that does freeze my bones around, selfish, vain, eternal bane, that free love with bondage bound. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Ethnogenesis by Henry Timrod of South Carolina. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Womack. Verse 2. And what if, mad with wrongs themselves have wrought, in their own treachery caught, by their own fears made bold, and leagued with him of old, who long since in the limits of the north set up his evil throne, and warred with God? What if both mad and blinded in their rage, our foes should fling us down their mortal gauge, and with a hostile step profane our sod? We shall not shrink, my brothers, but go forth to meet them, marshalled by the Lord of hosts, and overshadowed by the mighty ghosts of Moultrie and of Utah, who shall fall? Auxiliars such as these, nor these alone, but every stock and stone, shall help us but the very soil, and all the generous wealth it gives to toil, and all for which we love our noble land shall fight beside and through us, sea and strand. The heart of woman and her hand, tree, fruit, and flower, and every influence, gentle or grave or grand, the winds in our defense shall seem to blow, to us the hills shall lend their firmness and their calm, and in our stiffened sinews we shall blend the strength of pine and palm. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Face from the Past by Manella Butte Smedley. Read for LibriVox.org by Veggrower. Out of the past there has come a face, wherefore I do not know. I did not call it from its place, I cannot make it go. In the night it was very near, and it looks at me today with well-known eyes, so kind, so dear, and it will not go away. I am the same that I was before, there is nothing new to say, but this is with me evermore, as it was not yesterday. It makes the moment vague and vain, and, what a wondrous thing, I hear an old tale told again, as if it was happening. You talk, but scarce I understand if you but pause for breath. Straightway I am in that far land beyond the seas of death. All living sights are dimly seen across that mighty space. How can I tell you what I mean? 'Tis nothing but a face. O friends who think me dull or cold, why do you feel surprise? Have you no memories that hold your weary waking eyes? I want to take all patiently, but I sometimes long to say, a face has come from the past to me. Let me alone today. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
February in Rome by Edmund Goss. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Rating by Bologna Times. February in Rome by Edmund Goss. When Roman fields are red with cyclamen, and in the palace gardens you may find, under great leaves and sheltering bryony bind, clusters of cream-white violets, oh then the ruined city of immortal men must smile a little to her fate resigned, and through her corridors the slow warm wind gush harmonies beyond a mortal ken, such soft Fabian airs upon a flute, such shadowy censers burning live perfume, shall lead the mystic city to her tomb. Nor flowerless springs, nor autumns without fruit, nor summer mornings when the winds are mute, trouble her soul till Rome be no more Rome. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Greater Love by Wilfred Owen. Read for LibriVox.org by Winston Tharp. Red lips are not so red as the stained stones kissed by the English dead. Kindness of wooed and wooer seems shame to their love pure. O love, your eyes lose lure when I behold eyes blinded in my stead. Your slender attitude trembles not exquisite like limbs knife-skewed, rolling and rolling there, where God seems not to care, till the fierce love they bear cramps them in death's extreme decrepitude. Your voice sings not so soft, though even as wind murmuring through raftered loft. Your dear voice is not dear, gentle, and evening clear, as theirs, whom none now hear, now earth has stopped their piteous mouths that coughed. Heart, you were never hot, nor large, nor full, like hearts made great with shot. And though your hand be pale, paler are all which trail your cross through flame and hail. Weep, you may weep, for you may touch them not. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Hope and Despair, Lascelles Abercrombie. Read for LibriVox.org by Roseanne Schmidt. Said God, you sisters, ere ye go down among men my work to do, I will on each a badge bestow. Hope I love best, and gold for her, yet a silver glory for Despair, for she is my angel too. Then like a queen, Despair put on the stars to wear, but Hope took ears of corn, and round her temples in a wreath them bound. Which think ye looketh the more fair? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Huswifery by Edward Taylor. Read for LibriVox by Eliza. Make me, O Lord, thy spinning wheel complete. Thy holy word my distaff make for me. Make mine affections thy swift flyers neat, and make my soul thy holy spool to be. My conversation make to be thy reel, and reel the yarn thereon spun of thy wheel. Make me thy loom then, knit therein this twine, and make thy Holy Spirit, Lord, wind quills. Then weave the web thyself, the yarn is fine. Thine ordinances make my fulling mills, then dye the same in heavenly colours choice, all pinked with varnished flowers of paradise. Then clothe therewith mine understanding, will, affections, judgment, conscience, memory, my words and actions, that their shine may fill my ways with glory, and thee glorify. Then mine apparel shall display before ye that I am clothed in holy robes for glory. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Hymn to Love by Lascelles Abercrombie. Read for LibriVox.org by Roseanne Schmidt. We are thine, O love, being in thee, and made of thee, as thou, love, were the deep thought, and we the speech of the thought. Yea, spoken are we, thy fires of thought outspoken, but burned not through us thy imagining. Like fierce mood in a song caught, we were as clamoured words a fool may fling, loose words of meaning broken. For what more like the brainless speech of a fool, though lives travelling dark fears, and as a boy throws pebbles in a pool, thrown down abysmal places? Hazardous are the stars, yet is our birth, and our journeying time theirs. As words of air, life makes of starry earth sweet soul-delighted faces. As voices are we in the worldly wind, the great wind of the world's fate is turned as air to a sharpened sound, to mind and marvellous desires. But not in the world as voices storm-shattered, not borne down by the wind's weight, the rushing time rings with our splendid word, like darkness filled with fires. For love doth use us for a sound of song, and love's meaning our life wields, making our souls like syllables to throng his tunes of exaltation. Down the blind speed of a fatal world we fly, as rain blown along earth's fields, yet are we God-desiring liturgy, sung joys of adoration? Yea, made of chance and all a labouring strife, we go charged with a strong flame, for as the language love hath seized on life, his burning heart to story. Yea, love, we are thine, the liturgy of thee, thy thoughts golden and glad name, the mortal conscience of immortal glee, love's zeal in love's own glory. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Last Quarter of the Moon by Amy Lowell. Read for LibriVox.org by Leonard Wilson of Springfield, Ohio. How long shall I tarnish the mirror of life, a spatter of rust on its polished steel? The seasons reel like a goaded wheel. Half numb, half maddened, my days are strife. The night is sliding towards the dawn, and upturned hills crouch at autumn's knees. A torn moon flees through the hemlock trees. The hours have gnawed it to feed their spawn. Pursuing and jeering the misshapen thing, a rabble of clouds flares out of the east. Like dogs unleashed after a beast, they stream on the sky, an outflung string. A desolate wind through the unpeopled dark shakes the bushes and whistles through empty nests, and the fierce unrests I keep as guests crowd my brain with corpses pallid and stark. Leave me in peace, O spectres who haunt my laboring mind. I have fought and failed. I have not quailed. I was all unmailed, and naked I strove. 'Tis my only vaunt. The moon drops into the silver day, as waking out of her swoon she comes. I hear the drums of millenniums, beating the mornings I still must stay. The years I must watch go in and out, while I build with water and dig in air, and the trumpets blare hollow despair, the shuddering trumpets of utter rout. An atom tossed in a chaos made of yeasting worlds which bubble and foam. Whence have I come? What would be home? I hear no answer. I am afraid. I crave to be lost like a wind-blown flame, pushed into nothingness by a breath, and quench in a wreath of engulfing death this fight for a god, or this devil's game. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Life by Charlotte Bronte. Read for LibriVox.org by Una. Life, believe, is not a dream so dark as sages say. Oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient all. If the shower will make the roses bloom, oh, why lament its fall? Rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by. Gratefully, cheerily, enjoy them as they fly. What though death at times steps in and calls our best away? What though sorrow seems to win or hope a heavy sway? Yet hope again elastic springs, unconquered though she fell. Still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bear us well. Manfully, fearlessly, the day of trial bear, for gloriously, victoriously can courage quell despair. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Life's Harmonies by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. Read for LibriVox.org by J. Lytle. Let no man pray that he know not sorrow. Let no soul ask to be free from pain. For the gall of today is the sweet of tomorrow, and the moment's loss is the lifetime's gain. Through want of a thing does its worth redouble. Through hunger's pangs does the feast content. And only the heart that has harbored trouble can fully rejoice when joy is sent. Let no man shrink from the bitter tonics of grief and yearning and need and strife, for the rarest chords in the soul's harmonies are found in the minor strains of life. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Love of Life by Tertius Van Dyke. Read for LibriVox.org by Emily Eklund. Love you not the tall trees, spreading wide their branches, cooling with their green shade the sunny days of June? Love you not the little bird lost among the leaflets, dreamily repeating a quaint, brief tune? Is there not a joy in the waste windy places? Is there not a song by the long dusty way? Is there not a glory in the sudden hour of struggle? Is there not a peace in the long quiet day?
Love you not the meadows with their deep lush grasses? Love you not the cloud flocks noiseless in their flight? Love you not the cool wind that stirs to meet the sunrise? Love you not the stillness of the warm summer night? Have you never wept with a grief that slowly passes? Have you never laughed when a joy goes running by? Know you not the peace of rest that follows labor? You have not learnt to live then, how can you dare to die? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Love's Philosophy by Percy B. Shelley. Read for LibriVox.org by Julie Van Wallichem. The fountains mingle with the river, and the rivers with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with the sweet emotion. Nothing in the world is single. All things by law divine in one spirit meet and mingle. Why not I with thine? See, the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. What are all these kissings worth, if thou kiss not me? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Mad Poem Addressed to My Nephews and Nieces by Pope Chui. Read for LibriVox.org by Naoko. The world cheats those who cannot read. I, happily, have mastered script and pen. The world cheats those who hold no office. I am blessed with high official rank. The old are often ill. I, at this day, have not an ache or pain. They are often burdened with ties. But I have finished with marriage and giving in marriage. No changes happen to disturb the quiet of my mind. No business comes to impair the vigor of my limbs. Hence it is that now, for 10 years, body and soul have rested in hermit peace, and all the more in the last lingering years. What I shall need are very few things. A single rug to warm me through the winter, one meal to last me the whole day. It does not matter that my house is rather small. One cannot sleep in more than one room. It does not matter that I have not many horses. One cannot ride in 2 coaches at once. As fortunate as me among the people of the world, possibly one would find 7 out of 10. As contented as me among 100 men, look as you may, you will not find one. In the affairs of others, even fools are wise. In their own business, even sages err. To no one else would I dare to speak my heart, so my wild words are addressed to my nephews and nieces. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
One Hour to Madness and Joy by Walt Whitman. Read for LibriVox.org by Ben Bristol. 1 hour to madness and joy. Oh, furious, oh, confine me not. What is this that frees me so in storms? What do my shouts amid lightnings and raging winds mean? Oh, to drink the mystic deliria deeper than any other man. Oh, savage and tender achings, I bequeath them to you, my children. I tell them to you for reasons, O bridegroom and bride. Oh, to be yielded to you, whoever you are, and you to be yielded to me in defiance of the world. Oh, to return to paradise, oh, bashful and feminine. Oh, to draw you to me, to plant on you for the first time the lips of a determined man. Oh, to the puzzle, the thrice-tied knot, the deep and dark pool all untied and illumined. Oh, to speed where there is space enough and air enough at last, to be absolved from previous ties and conventions, I from mine and you from yours. To find a new, unthought of nonchalance, with the best of nature, to have the gag removed from one's mouth, to have the feeling today or any other day I am sufficient as I am. Oh, something unproved, something in a trance, to escape utterly from others' anchors and holds, to drive free, to love free, to dash reckless and dangerous, to court destruction with taunts and with invitations, to ascend, to leap to the heavens of the love indicated to me, to rise thither with my inebriate soul, to be lost if it must be so, to feed the remainder of life with 1 hour of fullness and freedom, with 1 brief hour of madness and joy. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Porphyrias Lover by Robert Browning. Read for LibriVox by T. Scott. Porphyrias Lover. The rain set early in tonight. The sullen wind was soon awake. It tore the elm tops down for spite, and did its worst to vex the lake. I listened with heart fit to break, when glided in Porphyria. Straight she shut the cold out and the storm, and kneeled and made the cheerless grate blaze up, and all the cottage warm. Which done, she rose, and from her form withdrew the dripping cloak and shawl, and laid her soiled gloves by, untied her hat, and let the damp hair fall, and last she sat down by my side, and called me. When no voice replied, she put my arm about her waist, and made her smooth white shoulder bare, and all her yellow hair displaced, and stooping made my cheek lie there, and spread, o'er all, her yellow hair, murmuring how she loved me. She, too weak for all her heart's endeavor to set its struggling passion free, from pride and vainer ties to sever, and give herself to me forever. But passion sometimes would prevail, nor could tonight's gay feast restrain a sudden thought of one so pale, for love of her, and all in vain. So, she was come through wind and rain. Be sure I looked up in her eyes, happy and proud, at last I knew. Porphyria worshipped me. Surprise made my heart swell, and still it grew, while I debated what to do. That moment she was mine, fair, perfectly pure and good. I found a thing to do, and all her hair in 1 long yellow string I wound, 3 times her little throat around, and strangled her. No pain felt she. I am quite sure she felt no pain. As a shut bud that holds a bee, I warily opened her lids. Again laughed the blue eyes without a stain, and I untightened next the tress about her neck. Her cheek once more blushed bright beneath my burning kiss. I propped her head up as before, only this time my shoulder bore her head, which droops upon it still, that smiling rosy little head, so glad it has its utmost will, that all it scorned at once is fled, and I, its love, am gained instead. Porphyria's love! She guessed not how her darling one wish would be heard, and thus we sit together now, and all not long we have not stirred, and yet God has not said a word. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Psalm 1 from the World English Bible, read for LibriVox.org by Karin Heidusich. Blessed is the man who doesn't walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in Yahweh's law. On his law he meditates day and night. He will be like a tree planted by the streams of water, that brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf also does not wither. Whatever he does shall prosper. The wicked are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahweh knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked shall perish. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Returning, we hear the larks, by Isaac Rosenberg, read for LibriVox.org by Martin Geeson, in Hazelmere, Surrey. Returning, we hear the larks. Sombre the night is, and though we have our lives, we know what sinister threat lurks there. Dragging these anguished limbs, we only know this poison-blasted track opens on our camp, on a little safe sleep. But hark! Joy, joy, strange joy! Lo, heights of night ringing with unseen larks! Music showering on our upturned listening faces. Death could drop from the dark as easily as song, but song only dropped, like a blind man's dreams on the sand by dangerous tides. Like a girl's dark hair, for she dreams no ruin lies there, or her kisses where a serpent hides. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Read for LibriVox.org by R.C. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy, and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Roses Can Wound by Lascelles Abercrombie. Read for LibriVox.org by Roseanne Schmidt. Roses can wound, but not from having thorns they do most harm. Often the night gives, starry sheen or mooned, deep in the soul alarm. And it hath been deep within my heart like fear, girl, when you are near. The mist of sense, wherein the soul does shielded, can divide, and she must cringe, and be ashamed, and wince, not in appearance hide, of rose or girl from the blazing mastery of barred eternity. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sonnet 99 from Calica by Fulk Greville Lord Brooke. Read for LibriVox.org by Heather Thompson. October 15th, 2010. Ottawa, Canada. www.cadmantutorials.com. Down in the depth of mine iniquity, that ugly centre of infernal spirits, where each sin feels her own deformity, in these peculiar torments she inherits, deprived of human graces and divine, even there appears this saving God of mine. And in this fatal mirror of transgression shows man as fruit of his degeneration, the error's ugly infinite impression, which bears the faithless down to desperation. Deprived of human graces and divine, even there appears this saving God of mine, in power and truth, almighty and eternal, which on the sin reflects strange desolation, with glory scourging all the sprites infernal, and uncreated hell with unprivation. Deprived of human graces, not divine, even there appears this saving God of mine. For on this spiritual cross condemned lying to pains infernal by eternal doom, I see my Saviour for the same sins dying, and from that hell I feared, to free me, come. Deprived of human graces not divine, thus hath his death raised up the soul of mine. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sonnet by James Charles Stewart, King James I of England. Read for LibriVox.org by Algie Pug. Sonnet. The azured vault, the crystal circles bright, the gleaming fiery torches powdered there, the changing round, the shining beamy light, the sad and bearded fires, the monsters fair, the prodigies appearing in the air, the rearding thunders and the blustering winds, the fowls in hue and shape and nature rare, the pretty notes the winged musicians finds, in earth the savoury flowers, the metalled mines, the wholesome herbs, the haughty pleasant trees, the silver streams, the beasts of sundry kinds, the bounded roes and fishes of the seas. O these, for teaching man, the Lord did frame, to do his will, his glory shines in them. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To Age by Walter Savage Landor. Read for LibriVox.org by Vedra. Welcome, old friend. These many years have we lived door by door. The fates have laid aside their shears, perhaps for some few more. I was indocile at an age when better boys were taught, but thou at length hast made me sage, if I am sage in aught. Little I know from other men, too little they know from me, but thou hast pointed well the pen that writes these lines to thee. Thanks for expelling fear and hope, one vile, the other vain, one's scourge, the other's telescope, I shall not see again. Rather what lies before my feet my notice shall engage. He who hath braved youth's dizzy heat dreads not the frost of age. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
To a Skylark by William Wordsworth. Read for LibriVox.org by Marie. Up with me into the clouds, for thy song, lark, is strong. Up with me into the clouds, singing, singing, with clouds and sky about thee ringing. Lift me, guide me, till I find that spot which seems so to thy mind. I have walked through wildernesses dreary, and today my heart is weary. Had I now the wings of a fairy, up to thee I would fly. There is madness about thee, and joy divine in that song of thine. Lift me, guide me high and high, to thy banqueting place in the sky. Joyous as morning, thou art laughing and scorning. Thou hast a nest for thy love and thy rest. And though little troubled with sloth, drunken lark, thou wouldst be loth to be such a traveller as I. Happy, happy liver, with a soul as strong as a mountain river, pouring out praise to the Almighty Giver. Joy and jollity be with us both. Alas, my journey rugged and uneven, through prickly moors or dusty ways must wind, but hearing thee, or others of thy kind, as full of gladness and as free of heaven, I with my fate contented will plod on, and hope for higher raptures when life's day is done. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.